how is that view? We're going to be doing some sketchbook stuff today for chickens for our monthly theme. I'm going to be using my Magello White Class hybrid paints. I've been itching to use these again. I haven't used them since the video I did. I don't know if you want to see like the whole palette, if you'd rather be zoomed in on the painting. Let me know what your preference is and I will adjust the camera accordingly. Is the phone freaking out? It doesn't know where to focus. There we go. Do you have a preference, Shayna? Or if you want to see just the sketchbook? Okay. Zoomed in on the sketchbook. Okay. So in the video's description, there should be a link for a folder in my Google Drive there's 7 chicken photos there. And these are pictures that I took of the chickens that I raised at the zoo I worked at. And I figured I went through last night and pulled some that I thought might make interesting little sketches. And we're just gonna pick a couple, maybe, depending on how long it takes, and hang out and do a really casual chicken stream. So I'm just gonna put our friend up there. I'm using the one, I think this one is titled Petrie, or is it Ducky? This is Petrie. So in that file, the one that's called Petrie is the one I'm gonna use first. Were you able to get to the pictures okay? I wanna make sure that link works for you. If you're not interested, don't worry. I don't want you to have to do extra work if you weren't already going to look at them. I don't know how long the stream is going to be today. It's just going to have to go off of how I'm feeling. Clean up my palette here for a second. Awesome. The viewer number changed while you went to check that, so I don't know if the browser changed on you. If you didn't happen to hear me, we're going to see how I'm doing today for how long I can stay streaming. I'm going to aim for like 45 minutes probably, a little shorter than our other ones, but we'll see if I'm feeling okay. I might keep going. Ugh, I have something in my right eye. It's driving me nuts. I can't get it out. All right. I'm going to move my picture a little bit. The phone is very much in the way with this new setup. Hey, Jacqueline. It's fuzzy because it couldn't focus on the sketchbook without my hand here, so it should focus once my hand is here. Thank you. Yes, Shayna, I'm going to make sure I take things nice and slow today, and we're just going to have a super chill, casual stream. And I will stop when I feel like I need to stop. Thank you guys for being understanding. So Jacqueline, and there's a link in the description for a folder on Google Drive that has some chickens in it. And we're just going to do some really casual sketchbook drawings today for our monthly Patreon theme. I'm sorry they weren't cats, Jacqueline. I know you wanted cats. Yeah, I do want to take it more of like a chat stream today, Jacqueline, for sure. Like I'll do some sketching, but it's not going to be a finished painting. It's not going to be anything super intense. Oh, Shayna wanted cows. Well, I'm sorry that both of you guys that are in here didn't request the theme that we're doing, but I hope you like chickens too. I have a special place in my heart for, I mean, all the animals that were in the poll, but You have chickens, Jacqueline? How did I not know this? Oh my goodness. So I don't know if I've told you guys, I like was championing I can't say that word, but I was trying to get chickens at the zoo that I worked at for so long, and finally got them to agree to let us have them for our education program, but it was like the year that I ended up leaving, so I wasn't there with them for very long, but I did get to raise 15 baby chicks, and that's what some of these pictures are of the chickens I worked with. This one was named Petrie. If you guys have ever seen the Land Before Time movies, there's Petrie, Sarah, and Ducky were three of the dinosaurs in that movie, and so the three chickens that look like this were named that. Polka dot chickens? Like their eggs are speckled, or is that a breed that I haven't heard of? Oh, are you painting polka dot chickens? Yeah, I love the Land Before Time movies also. I mean, I don't know, they have a ton of them now. I didn't watch all of them, but when we went to go name, we had never had to name 15 animals at once. Oh, yay! Okay, Jacqueline is painting polka dot chicken stamps. That sounds awesome. Um, at the zoo, we had a very specific naming policy because the animals had to be named things that were respectful and or relatable. We worked at a more children focused zoo. It wasn't a children's zoo, but it was definitely geared towards younger families, but we would go through a naming process. There'd be names suggested, and then everyone would vote on them. We wanted to make sure the names were respectful to the animals, yada yada yada. So we had never had to name 15 animals at once, so we were definitely a little strapped for suggestions by the end of it. So Petrie, Sarah, and Ducky were these buff Brahmas. That's the breed. There's some other chickens in that folder. The white one's name is P.O. after that song that I posted in the in the announcement for the challenge. P.O. means cheap, I believe. Like what we would say is like the chickens go cheap cheap. P.O. is what they say in Spanish. I visited Indiana once when I was maybe 15, I think. I had a friend that moved there. It was very hot. I visited during the summer, and a very hot, humid place there you got. Would you guys rather I sketched a few chickens at once and then started painting, or do you want me to sketch one, paint one, sketch one, paint one? Oh, I'm sorry, Jacqueline. I know Houston is not where I would want to be right now, for sure. Hey, Victor. Welcome. It's been a while. I'm glad to see you. Yeah, I don't know if you saw, there was something going around on Facebook. One of the Fox News channels, I think it was in San Francisco, was doing a weather report, and like the entire country was like over 80 degrees, 90, 100, 105 or whatever. And then San Francisco specifically was like 69 degrees. And and the reporters were like, everyone else melting, San Francisco. Oh, I need this light jacket today, because there's a saying that San Francisco is, you've never spent a colder winter than a summer in San Francisco. It gets really cold up there on the peninsula, not where I live, but up there for sure. I'm doing okay, Victor. All things considered. I've not had the week that I planned on, of course, but I'm trying to make it work. I haven't been able to do any of the things that I wanted to work-wise. I had plans to start my Skillshare class recording today. Or not today, this week, sorry. I wasn't able to do that, but I'm trying to take care of my health. Alright, well, I'm trying to do I don't know if I can explain it, but I have a new, like a phone tripod that's set up at an angle over the picture, but it's like blocking my direct eyesight. So I think that that's okay. I don't know if the proportions are super off, but it's just a sketchbook. It's all right. I think I'm going to draw at least one more. I like to have a couple of sketches and then we'll paint them. That might be all we have time for. Oh, so I was just thinking about you, Victor. Like an extended family member, I think it's like a second cousin or something, she just bought a house in Charlotte. And I was like, oh, I know someone who lives there. They're from Florida, I think, originally. All right, so for Victor and maybe Jacqueline, I don't think you saw this, Jacqueline, unless you've logged in. There's a link in the description below, Victor. And these are some of the chickens that I worked with at the zoo, and I'm just going to sketch some of them for our monthly theme. So I was sketching Petrie, and now I have to pick another one. I think I'm trying to decide between Gloria or Pio. I think let's do Gloria on this particular page. I think that it'll look nice. I'm trying to do these more comprehensive, like nicely put together sketchbook pages in terms of composition. So I think you guys saw probably before. I'm gonna knock everything over. When I was doing the dinosaur sketches earlier. So I've got like the Parasaurolophus spread. I did a T-Rex spread. And then I'm working on some skulls to better understand skull features. This isn't really a spread, it's just a painting. You guys probably saw it on the channel. I love dinosaurs, they're the best. I'm so glad they're making a comeback with the Jurassic World movies. Not that the movies are great or anything, but I'm glad people are loving on them again. These are some ducks when I was in Puerto Vallarta. I looked them up. They're black-bellied whistling ducks, and they were the cutest things ever. They have a whistling noise that they call with, and they were all over the resort. Jacqueline got to go to Jerry's Adorama this morning. Here are all my opossum sketches for the AAC video, and then these are some composition sketches. So you guys can see, I didn't post this on social media, but I did talk about the fact that I was trying to decide between a portrait or a family, and I really want to do this panoramic piece of a mother opossum with all her little babies, because it's super cute, but I didn't feel like that's where my heart was for the AAC video, but it's definitely something I want to do because I think it'd be really cute. And then here was the pre-sketch that I did for the Lindsay painting. And then I was supposed to paint this like 5 days ago. These are some iguanas that I also saw in Puerto Vallarta, and I'm gonna paint these while I do my Q&A video, but this week got away from me. Ooh, that's cool, Victor. Victor got to meet Cheap Joe himself. Is he a nice guy? Jacqueline, are you talking about when someone ats you? If you at and then someone's name, it'll highlight it for that specific person. So like you can see it when someone ats you so that you know that someone's talking to you. I don't see that unless you at in liquid color, and then it'll come up for me, if that makes sense. that what you're talking about? Oh, good. I'm glad to hear he's a nice guy, Victor. So this species, or it's not species, breed of chicken. I'll get to that in just a second, Victor. So this species of chicken is called an Australorp. They're a very hardy breed of chicken that produces lots of eggs. This one's name is Gloria, after, I believe, one of the penguins in Happy Feet, the penguin movie, because when she was a chick, she looked like a penguin. She had little yellow patches and white patches. Yep, Jacqueline, you got it. So Victor's asking what the Skillshare class is. I had the poll here on Patreon sometime last week, maybe. And it looks like you guys want me to do a color mixing, like an updated color mixing video, specifically regarding like how I pick colors for a palette. So that's the one I'm going to work on first, and then I'll work on a palette video, putting together limited palette selections, and then eventually I would like to do an animal eyes class. I thought that's what I was going to lead with. I thought that it was a fairly unique take for me in terms of things to offer, but as much as I assumed that there were a lot of watercolor classes already on Skillshare, some of them don't seem to be as comprehensive, maybe. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking for the color mixing, so that's something I wanted to do on the YouTube channel anyway, is to update that, but I felt weird about updating a series I already like completed, so I think Skillshare will be a nice format to do that on. Yeah, Shayna, it didn't work on my phone either. I'm glad that I'm doing the one that you were looking for, Shayna. Yeah, I was trying to chat in Jacqueline's class this morning when I woke up, and the app doesn't work on the phone. Oh, that's a bummer. I had been on Skillshare a little bit a while back. I had to cancel my subscription because of my finances. I'm gonna get another subscription again though soon here. I just wanted to make sure I would be home and able to use it before starting to pay for it. You know, I took some of Arlicia's classes and I loved her classes. I think she's a great teacher. For Victor, I don't know if Jacqueline, again, I don't know if you heard this or not, but definitely for Victor, I'm going to be using my hybrid gouache paints from Mission White Glass. And so I don't really care that these lines are going to be really dark because it's not going to matter. Oh, this line is too high up. These aren't erasable color pencils though. So we'll have to put a background in there. Yeah, I've heard it's, I don't know if it's just a trend or if it'll continue to be a good avenue, but from what I've heard from some artist friends of mine, it's a pretty good source of revenue, which is really handy. As you guys probably know, AdSense has not been doing super great, and then like I missed a bunch of time in July or in June because of a pain flare, and then I missed time from vacation, and now this other medical thing came up, so I've been missing videos left and right, which is disappointing to me in itself, but I'm also not getting ad revenue for that, which is not great financially, so I'm hoping to get some Skillshare classes up so that income can keep coming in, if that makes sense. All right, where did I set my paintbrush? No idea. They were with my pencils. They're no longer with my pencils. Ah, it fell on the floor. So Victor asks, is there a difference between white class and mixing gouache with regular watercolors? The texture is different. So let me see if I can grab my gouache pans. So here are my Holbein gouache, and these were mixed with glycerin, and they're still cracking, and they still fall out, and they still go all over the palette. And you can see that again here, the black in this set is the Holbein. And then look at the Mission White Class. I haven't touched these. There's no water added to them. I haven't used them for weeks. So they're really, really juicy in the palette. They're kind of like Ingram watercolors is what I would compare them to in terms of their texture. And so they just stay so much more moist in the palette. And that's what I like about them. Ooh, sorry guys. Ooh, 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 that was loud. That's what I like about them, is that they just stay really juicy, don't crack everywhere, and they've been really pleasant so far to work with. Again, they're gouache, so they're not going to be as light fast as watercolors are, but you know. Let's see, let me catch up on chat real quick. Oh, thanks, Shayna. I'm so glad. I know Jennifer has been working as well. And it's funny because I think she's much further along in planning. I started planning like wanting to do a Skillshare class like probably a month or two before she mentioned it, and then she's been able to work on it and I haven't, and I'm like, I'm falling behind. I'm slacking. So here, I'll show you this too. Like I barely have touched this, Victor, and like it already picks up so well. It's just so creamy and nice to work with. You still do need to add water to it to make it, not water, white, to make it more opaque for most of the colors, but I still really enjoy it. So I'm just mixing up a light brown and a middle brown. Yeah, I have a video on the channel, and I was like, oh, I love these, I'm going to use them all the time. But of course, because of how much product I have here, I mean, it's a good problem to have. I just feel bad that I can't get back around to other supplies, is that I haven't gotten to use them again. And I'm really gonna try, I want to go through my collection and pull out and like get rid of the paints that I don't use or that don't make me happy. Like not full KonMari like Lindsay did, but I definitely want to consider my supplies and really try and only keep things that make me really happy, because I kind of burned out on reviews. You've probably noticed. I have a huge backlog of reviews that I need to do for the channel, and I just have not had the, I don't know, like the gumption, the fight, I don't know. I haven't had the drive or the will to make those videos. I've been wanting to do more painting videos just because I got so burned out on doing so many of the reviews all at once. But I do miss them, and I want to get some other ones done. I still have so many things to review. I have the Sennelier, what do they call theirs? The La Petite Aquarelle. Their little Academy set. I have the cores. I've got some awesome inks that Jacqueline sent me. I've got the Hydrus watercolors. I've got some cheaper sets. I have these Daniel Smith activity packs. Like, there's just so much that I have here. Let's see. Is that the mixed? This palette is all the white class, except for the black, which is the Holbein, because it didn't come with the black. Is that what you're asking? There's none of their gold class in this palette. I haven't gotten to watch her collection video yet. I know she said she was doing one, and I saw that it went up, but I haven't gotten to watch it yet. I'm excited to, though. She's been collecting things for so long. She's been painting for quite some time and had time to build up her collection. And I still want to do a studio tour, but like you wouldn't even be able to see anything if I did one. There's just stuff everywhere. It wouldn't make any sense. So I need to clean up. Or Alicia just did one on her channel, and I was like, okay, this sounds great. I'm gonna go clean my room. And then I got tired, so I took a nap instead. Story of my life. I got tired, so I laid down instead. The white class watercolor and the gouache in the pan. It might just be because I'm on prescription painkillers right now, Victor. I'm still not sure what you're saying. So these are the white class watercolor gouache hybrids, right? All the colors. The white is their white gouache hybrid. Like it's all from the same white class line. And then I added like a little bit of white to the spots to make it easier to mix. I'm reading your question again. I'm so sorry. I'm not understanding it. Are you asking this one over here? These are like, let's mix, sorry, I hit the camera. These are the colors mixed with white. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, you see? Holbein just fell out because even though I put glycerin in it, that's what they do. I think I'm gonna scrape it out of that well and put something else there, maybe some Imgram dark color or something or another. I don't know why I put that there anyway. Like there's an indigo, violet, and like these really cool dark colors that I can mix blacks with. I think I just put the black there for a convenience color, but I haven't used it and it just keeps drying up and falling out, so I don't think it's very useful. Can you guys see the painting okay? Do you want me to lift it up over the top a little bit more? All right. Let's see if that helps. I know there's a bit of an angle on it. Is that better? I just get worried about my brush hitting the camera and making things complicated for you. So the two colors that I'm using right now are, I don't know the names of them, I'm sorry, but it's like a raw sienna type of color and a yellow ochre type of color. And then I'm mixing those with white. I have not, Victor, Lana Aquarelle. I feel like someone told me about a brand of paint recently that I didn't know, and I don't know if it was that one or something else. But in any regard, I don't recognize it by name, no. How do you like it? I did get some newer paper recently. Where did I put it? What is that called? Oh, Hyacinth. Tiffany got this for me. I went to see her when I was in Southern California. She picked up this hyacinth paper. It's a wood pulp paper. I think I'll probably use it for gouache paintings. It was okay. Show you the smaller one. I haven't used it enough to say. I did a little sample in here, I think, like teeny tiny. It's kind of like the Arteza watercolor paper. You can layer on it as long as your watercolors are permanent. But I'd have to do way more on it to know whether or not I like it. She found it at her local art shop. They have a huge art store down there that was like better than the Blick art store that I've been to. I've been to 2 different Blick stores, and this one still had more variety. It's in Westminster, California. And then there's this. I'll just pop this in here as a little charity plug for World Watercolor Month. I haven't gotten to share it off on the channel yet, but this is the pouch that Charlie over at Doodle Wash sent for World Watercolor Month. If you guys haven't seen that one yet. The pouch? Aw. Thanks, Sheena. It's really neat. It's very different than the ones that I have in terms of just the construction. The canvas itself is thicker, but there's no lining on the inside, so it just depends on if you want like a lining or not. The zipper is more sturdy in this one. Can you hear them? Our hawk friends are back outside squawking. I don't know if it's loud enough to pick up on the camera though. So I'm really excited. I just want to be careful on what to put in here because it's white and it's not lined, and so I want to make sure that I think that through. I think I'll put like travel watercolors in it. I would want to make sure it's a palette that closes really well though, to make sure it doesn't accidentally drip. Okay, back to chicken friends. Actually, back to a sip of water and then chicken friends. Charlie worked so hard on this event. It's so cool to see it all come together. Did you guys see the Daniel Smith announcement over on Doodle Wash? They had the like exclusive premiere of their new pan sets. They're releasing, I don't know if they're limited edition or not. I don't remember. But they're doing a bunch of collections based on the artists' picks. Like Jane Blundell has the big one, and then there's some other artists that have like a floral set and an urban set. Yeah, Victor. Go ahead and check it out. They're releasing it. I'm not sure. I know, Shayna. Like, I have no reason at all to buy any of those sets, but part of you just wants to see what they're like, right? They're hand poured, and the palette itself didn't seem fancy. Like, I don't know if that's the final palette, but it was like a really simple design. So like you could just pour your own palettes and it would be the same thing. They said that they're using the same formula in both, which will be interesting to see actually, because their Primatex don't dry particularly well, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't change the formula for that. But they said they didn't. Oh, cool. Did it arrive yet, Jacqueline? The Sennelier or the Schminke? Is it this one? Oh, cool. I'm glad you were able to find one. That's neat. I know a lot of people were going kind of nuts because I picked mine up when it was on sale. I think Eve posted it on Facebook. And I was like, I don't need this, but the tin, and then I bought it anyway. And and then by the time it got here, they were sold out. So when I did the review of it on the channel, everyone's like, where do I pick this up? And I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. That's also how I ended up with this one. Poor Tiffany. She did such a good job at trying to talk me out of it. I was like, Tiffany, I know you have this set. I need you to talk me out of it because I don't need more paints. But it was only like 80 bucks and it had 12 pans of paint, even if they were already duplicates of things I had or things I weren't going to use. And it's such a cute little palette. And then she told me not to get it, and then I did anyway. So. This is I did a video on this. I made a custom little set out of some of the colors that were in that set and then some of the pants that I already had. And it's funny because like it's in a travel box, but I was too scared to travel with it. Like I would travel in a car with it, but I don't want to take it on an airplane or take it through security in case. I mean, they've never flagged any of my watercolor stuff, but I don't want to take the risk. It's too scary. Yeah, Victor, I have the Academy set, or the La Petite Aquarelle set also. Somewhere. This one. I recorded like the unboxing footage months and months and months ago, and I did a tutorial on it. I think it was the polar bear, or the puffin, no, the polar bear. But I don't love them. They're okay. But you can see they're unused since that painting. And I've been meaning to do a review on it, but I just haven't. My little sister is getting married next weekend, and she's starting to get into watercolor. She's so sweet. She like doesn't usually watch our videos or anything like that, but she's like, I ran out of your videos, so then I started looking at your friends' videos. And then she started going over to like Alicia's channel and everything, and she wants a set of watercolor. She doesn't like she got the Decadent Pies Prima set before I went out and visited her last year for my birthday. But she doesn't like the color selection there. She wants something that's brighter. And so I told her I'd put together some palettes. And I was going to give her that set to see if she liked it, since I'm not going to get any use out of it. But I was like, well, I did specifically buy it for review, so I should probably review it before giving it away. So I'm glad to hear, Victor, that I'm not the only one who doesn't like it, because I know a lot of people just speak really highly of it. I just was not that, like, it's not bad. I just don't think it's worth the money. I think you can buy other things for the same amount and be happier with them. Yeah. Her and her boyfriend have been together, or fiance, I guess, for a very long time, like 8 years or something like that. But they never really talked about getting married before. And then all of a sudden they were engaged and the wedding is in a couple months. So we're going to go out and see her for that. They didn't want to make a big deal out of it. It's going to be like a backyard home wedding at his parents' house. So yeah, I'm probably not going to get to the second chicken, but I'm having fun. It's the important part, right? Wash is still very elusive to me, but I like that it lets me paint so much looser than I'm used to painting. I don't feel like I need to control it like I control watercolor, and especially when I'm in a sketchbook, I get that freedom feeling. I'm not sure if you want to know how I spent my day, Victor. I'll let others go first. I won't bum you out. Yeah, Shayna, I think it'll be really fun. She said she wants to, I don't know if she's going through with it, but she said she was going to like hire a taco truck for the food. And she's going to make her own cupcakes. I'm going to go down early and help her with them. Victor, I don't know if you saw my post about the tentativeness of this stream. I spent Thursday in the ER, so that went into Friday the 13th, and then I was at home recovering yesterday. Yeah, I believe it, Jacqueline. Make less of a big deal about the wedding, that higher success rate. Yeah, I'm relatively okay. Still some scary stuff that I have to wait for my follow-up. I have an appointment with my main doctor on Tuesday. It's completely unrelated to the chronic pain stuff. It was, I have some hemorrhagic cysts that were not treating me well. Didn't know I had them, and then I couldn't move. So spent 3 hours like almost curled up on the floor at home, and then finally called my mom to take me in. Spent 7 hours at the ER and kind of upended my week. I'm obviously here, so I'm okay enough, but that's why the stream's going to be a little shorter today. I don't have the same energy levels as well, I mean, not that I'm super energetic normally, but even less than normal. Thank you. It's one of those things that it's like weird to talk about because it's personal and I don't really want the whole world knowing about it, but at the same time, it's like, oh, Denise, you promised you were going to do your Q&A video. And then I'm like, yeah, no. But I don't, like, usually I'll post about it if I'm going to be late. I don't really feel like posting about this. So I'll probably just ignore it and then, like, maybe give a little nod to it when I finally get the video up. I know everyone's understanding. You guys are great. I just feel bad when I make promises that I don't keep. Not Vicodin, but close. I have codeine. Vicodin makes me vomit uncontrollably, so I asked not for that. But yeah, it's definitely foggy. I don't like opioids at all, especially with people who have chronic pain. They can really affect your body in negative ways. And like this morning, I woke up after sleeping for quite a while, which is nice because I don't normally sleep very well. But when I woke up, I had the most severe headache, and I knew pretty much right away that it was like what should be considered a withdrawal headache, but like I was just sleeping, and I hardly took any of it yesterday. I took it as directed, like once every 4 to 6 hours, and the headache didn't go away until I took another dose this morning. And I'm like, well, that's why I didn't want the opioids. Yeah, Tylenol number 3. Yeah. That sounds more fun, Victor. Spending the night watching cheesy vampire movies. Yeah, thanks, Shayna. It's hard. You know, it's hard. You got the guilt complex that comes along with chronic pain. This isn't even the same thing. This is an acute situation, but hopefully, anyway. But I'm hoping for the best when I have my follow-up next week, and that hopefully it doesn't require surgery or anything, and that I can keep doing what I'm doing. I'm just using some sepia to spot in the darker areas on the bird. I tried to watch a cheesy movie yesterday on Netflix. I was like, oh, I'll just watch a chick flick and like make myself feel better because I like watching cheesy chick flicks. And I must just be getting too old because it was like a teen chick flick, and I was just like, these poor kids, what are they doing to themselves? Why would they treat each other this way? Yeah, that's true, Jacqueline. I've been drinking water around the clock, but still have constant dry mouth. I know that that's definitely an issue to keep in mind. Got my water here. You guys, I love chickens. They're so great. Yeah, I thought it would be funny after watching this chick flick last night. I was like, you know, I should go back and watch like some of the ones that I really enjoyed as a kid or growing up as a teen or whatever, and like see if they're as bad as that these ones still are. Because I'm just like, guys are being mean to each other. That's not how a loving relationship works. And I don't know if it's my old age or if movies have just gotten worse. I think that's everyone, Victor. Everyone almost drinks the paint water, for sure. Yeah, definitely, Jacqueline. I'm not a fan at all. I know way too many people, specifically with chronic pain, that doctors, I know this is different than chronic pain. I know it's acute and that there's reasons for it, but people with chronic pain who take opioids can get addicted to them, and then they make your pain tolerance lower, and then like doctors should never even prescribe them for chronic pain because your tolerance just builds and builds and builds, and then you're in more pain than ever because your body gets used to it and reacts accordingly. So I try not to take them whenever possible, like whenever I can avoid it. They wanted to give me Norco, and I told them no, I didn't want it, so they gave me the codeine instead. Yeah, Jacqueline, the bucket's too big on purpose so you don't drink your paint water. I use these Talente gelato cups and they get looking really gross after a while, so that helps me tell the difference. I think the mug idea is really cute, the one that says like paint water, not paint water, but because of the same shape, I would still definitely drink it. So, yeah, it breaks my heart, Shayna. I've had like friends that I've known through chronic pain that are on these medications, and I'm really glad the program that I went through, you guys, Shayna, you probably already know this from our Discord group, but the group that I was a part of, you weren't allowed to be on opioids to be in it, so you had to completely detox from them. And luckily, I didn't have to do that because I had always refused them. But it just breaks my heart too that doctors, like mainstream doctors, don't know how detrimental they are and just prescribe them so willingly when the chronic pain doctors were like, no, you're not allowed to be on those. They're detrimental to your health. So I feel like I'm just pushing pain around at this point. Like I'm having fun though, so that's what matters, right? Are you guys having fun? I don't want you to like not be enjoying this. I'm mixing together a little red for her comb on her head. Oh, I think I forgot to mention I'm using a little flat shader brush. It's a size 4 from Velvet Touch. And if you're a tactile person, these brushes handles are so amazing. I love the way they feel. Yeah, no, I love it. And I haven't been able to paint the last couple of days, or more rather, like I haven't made myself paint in the last couple of days. So like I considered canceling the stream obviously and like just resting, but I was like, you know what? I think it'd be really good for me to sit up and paint for a bit and get some paint therapy in. And I've been wanting to use these paints again for a while, like I mentioned, because they're so fun. Victor says when he pushes paint around, it usually ends up everywhere besides his paper. Have you gotten to paint much, Victor? How's work doing? Are you still super busy? Maybe you were traveling a ton. But that was a while ago, so I don't know if you're home now. Oh, your print packages are ready to go, by the way. I just put them together, but then went to the ER, so I couldn't get them to the post office. But once I can drive again, I will take them, and they will be on their way to you. I'm excited for you guys to get them. I think they're cute this time. I mean, hopefully you've enjoyed them every time, but I like these ones. Oh no, so much travel. Do you like traveling for business? Like, is it something you enjoy? My boyfriend's sister travels so much for work. She's traveling this weekend. She's hardly home at all. And to me, that would be hell. But she really loves it. It'll get there, Shayna. Don't worry. With the opossum sketch that I did in particular, I was really hesitant to do this portrait because I was like, it's so simple that if I don't do the values right, like it's not going to turn out well. And the first layers of this, and again, it was a sketchbook, like I had only spent like 5 or 10 minutes on it when I had come to this conclusion. I was like, oh, it's terrible, it's never going to get better. And then I just kept adding a little bit more contrast, and like it's still a sketch, but I was happy with the way that the sketch turned out once I kept getting a little bit past that. When you add in these darker values, I think value, especially with watercolor, is what helps make things really pop. So if you're having trouble with it coming to life, if you already are unhappy with the way it's turning out and you don't think it's going to get any worse, like just try putting some darker values in and see if it helps. Oh man, yeah, I can imagine that'd be pretty tiring traveling all the time. So Jacqueline, when you said you had chickens earlier, did you mean that you were just painting chickens, or do you actually have chickens? I might have gotten overly excited prematurely. I'm also excited that you have chickens that you're painting. Don't get me wrong. I just don't remember you mentioning them before. So I think I was probably wrong about that. It's probably just the stamps you're working on. I'm really curious about this. I was a little hesitant to. I've been working in this new Hanamule watercolor book that a former patron of mine sent to me. She asked if she could send me something, which was really sweet of her. And she sent me the Hanamule watercolor book. And I want to know if this is going to rub off on the opposite page. I'm wondering if I can keep using it like on back-to-back pages, or if it's something I need to be careful with. That's what I thought. I knew you had an apartment number and that you had 2 kitties. I don't know what Cricket would make if we got chickens though. They're not small though. If you get like a standard breed of chicken, they're not as heavy as a cat, but they're the size of a cat. What color should we do on the background on this one? Should it be green like grass, or should we do like a different color? That's amazing. Victor has a friend who's an urban farmer and has 20 chickens and started a tilapia farm. Man, I have the negativity that I've heard with the tilapia. Like I just don't go near it anymore. I don't know what to do with it. It's so scary. I want this to be a sketchbook page, so I'm going to put in more chickens. So I don't want it to be like a full background, but I can put grass in behind. Oh, now we have a sky background. Battle of blue or green. Shayna, you're the tiebreaker. Sky or grass? The picture is grass, but we can deviate if we want to. Okay, we'll go green. This set actually has a really pretty sappy green color in it. I think it's what they call olive green. I'm trying to think if I know where the color chart for it is. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's amazing. My system actually worked. I'm actually shocked. I organized my swatches recently, kind of. Not recent enough to remember, but I put them in folders and found them. So yeah, they call this one olive green, but it's a really pretty sap green. That one. color I'll use. When the art store that I'm near closed down, they had all these little portfolio, like what you would put finished pictures in. And I bought a bunch of them in different sizes to keep all my swatches and my color charts. And I think it's because I already have like plenty of watercolors and other brands and other mediums. I don't have any interest in using these as watercolors, even though they're the hybrids. I just love how they re-wet easier in the pan. I'm gonna try and slim up this beak a little bit. It was too big from my sketch, like right from the beginning. And another thing that I like about this set is that there are actually several colors in it that you can just use from the pan. Like this green, not having to mix it, that's pretty awesome. Like it's just ready to go. See, that's one of the things I love about gouache. You can just change things. It's great. We haven't had any interruptions this time, right? The last two that we did were on my new phone, and it was overheating and like causing the stream to stop. We haven't gotten any like connection flubs or anything. Question mark. I'm back on my iPhone and I'm using like my standard phone as my reference. Okay, cool. Awesome. Jacqueline got Daniel Smith's Bordeaux. Yeah, that is a really beautiful color. I have a little sample of it. Haven't used it a lot, but I know when I was very first starting off with watercolors, it was a color that I was immediately drawn to on their color chart when I was sitting inside the store, like enough of an impact that I still remember it now, like 3 years later. And I really wanted to get it, but I was trying to pick my colors based on like recommendations that I can find online and like Jane Blundell stuff, and I couldn't find anything about Bordeaux, so I didn't get it originally. But it's such a pretty color. So yeah, I was planning on selling my phone so I could get a little bit more money back for it, but it's probably more valuable to me keeping it as a streaming device. So that might be what I do with it. Seems silly to keep a phone for that, but if I can't stream from my other phone and I can't get OBS to work on my laptop, it's probably the option I'm gonna go with. See, newer technology is not always better. Personally, I think it's ridiculous that I can't use my new phone to stream. Didn't mean for this to look so square, like I was gonna have it be a more organic shape, but that's just kind of what happened. I don't know if I can change it. I'll try a little bit. Chicken butts are so funny. Their little tails are so cute. What are you guys up to the rest of today? I know it's pretty late already on the East Coast. Dinner after this? You have ratties. Several? Or one? Three girls. Aww. We had rats at the zoo for a little bit for education animals, but primarily we had like a training camp that the kids could take where they would learn how to actually train animals themselves. And the rats were part of that program. They were so fun. Yep. Cricket has got fur everywhere. My room is definitely like I want it to be clean, but I don't have the ability to do so at this time. I'd like to paint more, but even that I think is probably unrealistic. I should probably just go rest after this. My boyfriend was trying to be optimistic. He was like, well, we'll see how you feel and maybe we can go out to dinner. I was like, no, I don't want to go out to dinner. He was like, but maybe if you feel better. I'm like, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but no. I'm good. Yeah, I think we're gonna order in. I did get something very exciting though. I got blah 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 blah. I've reached the point where I can no longer speak properly, but I got a tortilla press. When we were in Mexico, like there wasn't a prepackaged tortilla in sight. They were all handmade, and I was like, how hard is it to make a tortilla? Expecting to find the answer like, oh, it's pretty hard, but it's not. It's very easy to make them. You mix up corn flour and water, and then you let it sit for an hour, and then you can make tortillas. That's it. That's the whole recipe. And so being gluten-free, it's super hard to find good tortillas because prepackaged corn tortillas always break, and so you can't really make big things like tacos crack. Like they're just not efficient. And so it's like, well, if I can make delicious tortillas and it's not that much extra effort, how about I do that? And so I looked it up. I am making good use of, I signed up for it before I ended up having to go to the ER, but I signed up for the free trial of Instacart, which they bring groceries to your house. And I'm like, well, that was good timing. I ordered some masa harina, ordered the tortilla press from Amazon, and now I have the ability to make tacos. I'm not going to do it tonight, Jacqueline, don't worry. It's not that much work though. Corn flour, water, let it sit. Press it, cook it for 30 seconds on each side, and done. I'm gonna be a happy girl with lots of tacos. Yeah? How do you like the Instacart? I've been liking it so far. The drivers are really nice. Better than I've had with my Amazon Prime experience. But if it continues to be this way, I think it's worth the money. Especially with how often I have flares. If I didn't have to go shopping, that would be great. I like grocery shopping, but it's exhausting and like I'm done for the rest of the day. Yes, Victor, I love arepas. My boyfriend is Venezuelan, so he introduced me to arepas. And I love them. I make them often. I like to do breakfast arepas with eggs and sausage. I'm excited you asked about that. So few people know what arepas are. Yeah, it's basically the same thing for the tortillas. You're just obviously making them thinner, but very similar process. And you let the dough sit a little bit longer for the tortillas. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Cool. They're little bites of heaven, Jacqueline. I can let Victor explain, but they're delicious. I really wish that America would catch on so that they would be available in more places. The closest place we can get arepas is at like a farmer's market type thing about an hour away. They're only there one day a week. We've only made the trip once to go get it because it's so far, but no arepas in San Jose. Ooh, yum. Well, if it's too much to type, I can explain it. Jacqueline, arepas are it's like a corn flour, but very, very fine. It's a different type of flour than you would use for a tortilla. There you go. There, Victor got it. It's kind of like if you really wanted to simplify things, and Victor, don't get mad at me, but it's kind of like a corn type of pita pocket, but they're smaller and, in my opinion, more delicious. And you fill them with meat and cheese or whatever you want. Yeah, Shayna. I love them, especially again, they're gluten free. And so when I found out that I could eat them, I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to put everything inside of an arepa because that's amazing. And I can eat them. My boyfriend gets mad when I say that they're like pita pockets. He's like, no, they're so much better. I'm like, I know they're better, but that's like the concept of them. You cut them open and you put things inside of them. Shayna, if you're interested in making them, look for it's called Pan, capital Pan is the flour that at least I've seen. I don't know, Victor, if there's another brand that you can recommend, but it's a specific type of flour specifically for that. The last time I went there, I was really sad. Target didn't have it anymore, but my Target used to carry it, which I was really surprised at. But otherwise, I go to there's like a Mexican supermarket that I can buy it at. I don't believe I have. I can't roll my R's, so I'm afraid to try and pronounce that. I've had cachapas. I've had, I don't remember the name, the fried plantains. Tequeños. Although I'm not supposed to eat those as they're flour based. What's inside of them? Or what are they? Oh, empanadas. Oh, nice. I'll have to ask him about those. His mom was just staying here visiting for the last month or so, and so she got to cook us lots of Venezuelan comfort food. It's a very nice little treat. All right, well, I don't want to overwork things. I think we're getting towards the end here. There's a couple little things that I want to do. Trying to make it look like she's backlit, but it's not going over super well. I think it'll help if I lighten the grass on the other side of her. It's so good. Latin comfort food is amazing. I was worried at first when we started dating in terms of like the traditional food because I don't like beans very much. And luckily, though, it's not a huge thing in Venezuela. Corn is much more popular. And I like corn. Trying to lighten up the grass behind her so that it looks a little bit more convincing. These highlights. Oh yeah, those are great, Jacqueline. What are the it's not coming to me. Victor, I don't know, there's a Salvadorian restaurant here that serves them. They're like arepas, but really, really flat. They tend to be a bit heavier, like greasier, but it's kind of like there's meat inside of it and it's corn and it's pressed really, really flat. We have some of those here, but it's not the same as an arepa. Oh yeah, I love paella. My aunt made some years ago and I still remember when we had that meal. It was so amazing. It's driving me crazy that I can't think of it. What are they called? I know there's other places that have them besides El Salvadorian food. I just can't remember what they're called right now. We'll blame it on the codeine, right? Yes, my aunt does have the paella pan. They live about an hour and a half away, so we don't get to go up there very often, like specifically to her place. We usually meet at my other aunt's house for holidays and things like that. But we went up once for like a lunch or something. She made it. It was so good. They're foodies. They're total foodies. They're always the ones that want the different cookbooks for the holidays, and they're always in the kitchen. And she gave me at Christmas time, I have to figure out how to use them. They're like preserved lemons. They've been in my fridge this whole time, and she said after 6 months you can eat them. And I was like, okay. So I have to figure out how to incorporate them into food. All right, does that look any more convincing with the light? I'm not sure that it does, but I know I still have to do the eye too. I don't want it to be like some creepy chicken without an eye, don't worry. Okay, she has a brown eye, black pupil. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, bye, Shayna. No, you're not going early. I'm running late. I'm just going to finish up this little chicken eye, and we're going to be done. So have a good night. I'm going to turn on the heat tool real quick just because I want to finish up the eye and I need it to dry first. Victor, I just saw your comment about the Friday the 13th chicken. So you can kind of see here, these definitely do have a gloss to them. They are not matte like traditional gouaches. I don't know if that's coming across in the black especially, or the sepia. So if you want something that's matte, these aren't going to be the right paints for you. And I do kind of, like I am sad about that. Like I wish they were more matte, but for the trade-off for me personally of them being able to re-wet so easily, I'm willing to make that trade-off. But whether or not you want to make that trade-off is, of course, a personal decision. Victor, have you used gouache very much? Or do you have any favorite brands? That's where I was going with that question. I was both sad and surprised that I didn't enjoy the Holbein. They came so highly recommended, and I was like, okay. And then I didn't end up liking them as much. Although it's really interesting that Holbein has affordable gouache, but their watercolors are extraordinarily expensive. I just thought about that. It's weird. I want to try the MGAM gouache. I actually have some samples somewhere. Somewhere on this desk I have some samples that someone sent. So I want to try those, but I haven't had a chance to yet. These do have a big color shift. When they dry, they get a lot darker, which I know is typical, but still noteworthy. All right, it is definitely time. So go lay down. Let's get this pupil in. I agree, Victor. Same. Don't use them as much as I would like to. How are your chickens turning out, Jacqueline? Are you happy with them? Are you still with us? Maybe. It's not gonna let me put down the white because the black is still there. Hold on, one more time. Jacqueline's not able to paint because the cats won't leave her alone. That is why Cricket has a no desk policy. As much as I love her, she doesn't come to the art desk. One of the things that makes it difficult with these paints is because the dark colors dry shiny. Like, I don't know if they're dry or if they're just shiny. So, like, I was drying that for longer than I probably needed to, but I don't know how to tell. Alright, get this highlight in here. Highlight isn't in the picture, but eyes in general, but specifically chicken eyes, can look kind of freaky if you don't give them a highlight. They're very, like, round and startled looking. I'm so glad you guys could join me today. Thanks for keeping me company. I hope you had fun with our little chicken friend. And I hope you have fun with the theme this month, if you get a chance. I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad I was able to do it because I was really worried that if I rescheduled, like, I don't have any more time this month because of the wedding. So glad I was able to be here also. Of course, I can't stop fiddling with things because that's just who I am. But we'll call it. We'll be done. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for your long time support. I was writing your postcards and just thinking about how long you guys have been supporting me. I'm so grateful for that. Again, your print packages and your postcards will be in the mail as soon as I can get them to the post office, and that'll do it, I think. I should be getting your tutorials out later this month, so let me know if you have any recommendations or suggestions or requests. Request is the word I was looking for originally. Since we're up to 3 now, I'm always open to ideas. So thank you, Jacqueline. I will definitely go lay down immediately following canceling or turning off the stream. Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next time.